Hi, Victoria here, author of Zest for Success, but also director of HBA Encompass and the Bookkeeper Hub. It's going to be a quick session today, back in my car studio, and I just want to have a quick chat about internal controls. Now, of course, being an accountant, someone thinks I should get really excited about this. Personally, I'm just the same as you. I think they're really boring, but unfortunately, they're really essential. And internal controls are just checks and balances to make sure that you're not being ripped off. So generally it happens when you have employees or subcontractors who are doing stuff for you. There's a couple of little things that we can have a chat about. The first one is segregation of duties. There's some really big words, but what it really means is that you don't have the same person that's responsible for collecting money to be the same person who's responsible for receipting and banking it. Because that makes it really easy for them to either not receipt it and not bank it, or do some dodginess in there. Other types of segregation of duties or internal controls may be making sure that any changes to suppliers' bank accounts in your accounting system are authorised, whether it be staff bank accounts or suppliers' bank accounts, because there's been numerous things in the paper of late of where the internal bookkeeper puts their bank account or a bank account of someone they know in as the bank account for the supplier. They say to you, here's the list of things we have to pay. It's all in your internet banking. Can you just press authorise? And you authorise it thinking well and good that your material supply is being paid when that money's just being siphoned off for them. And then down the track, your supplier rings up and says, why haven't I been paid for these? And you go, well, I did pay you. Here you go. I need to find that your bookkeeper's done something wrong. Now, I'm a bookkeeper and I don't do things wrong, but there have been instances of people who do that. So please don't take that as a slur on employees or bookkeepers. It's just a suggestion for you as a business owner to make sure that you're keeping a little bit of a finger on the pulse to make sure that you're not being ripped off. And the last kind of example I've got of something like that is quantity control. So, for instance, McDonald's, years and years ago, there was a McDonald's franchise where his profits were way less than everyone else's, and his cost of his chips was much higher than everyone else's, and they couldn't work out what it was. So what they did is they came in and they just watched around the store for a week or so, and there's a couple of staff members there who came in, and when they put the chips into the box, they shook the box to get as many chips as they possibly can in, which then meant that the customer was getting more chips per serve than what was normal if you just poured them in from the I don't know what you call it, the spout or whatever it is of how you do it. So what that meant is that the actual cost of that bucket of chips was higher than what it should have been. Now, that's a big stretch, but if you can think about that kind of process in everything you do and make sure that you're maintaining a bit of a finger on the pulse on those expenses. Builders, it could be just making sure that you're not using excessive amounts of nails and screws, that any materials that aren't being used are being returned back to the shed, and when your staff or your subbies are collecting materials, that they are taking the used ones first and not taking them home. Now, not everyone is going to do something dodgy, and there is a reality that from time to time things will walk. It just happens, whether it be stationery or a box of nails or some timber or whatever it happens to be, it is a reality. But if you can put checks and balances in for signing in or signing out, or as you get bigger, a warehouse person who looks after it, then that's going to stand you in good stead and help you to grow your business without others taking you for a ride. So that's all I have today on internal checks and balances. Not talking about auditing and going overboard, but just the little things to make sure that you're not being ripped off. And I'll see you on the other side.